actually a big fan of the BMW X6. No, really. Without this car, one of the most hilarious Top Gear episodes ever made wouldn't have been possible. I encourage you to check it out on YouTube. It's on Top Gear's official channel. Now, on a more serious note, I never liked and I never will like any kind of large SUV. I think they're too big for our roads. They are not bigger or more practical than the large touring car, and I think the fuel consumption is way too big for the performance it offers. But let me tell you why I think the new BMW X6 is just a bit different than the other large SUVs on the market.
First off, this is a coupe SUV, which means that the X6 is a mixture between a bus and a sports car, a car that's supposed to be practical as an SUV, but also have the sexy shapes of a coupe. And because BMW's slogan is the ultimate driving machine, they decided to push the X6 as far as they could to the more sportier side of things.
Today we're driving the top of the range diesel. Up front we have a 3-liter and 6-cylinder diesel engine, which has 3 turbos and is capable of producing 381 horsepower and, get this, 740 Newton meters of torque. It can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.2 seconds and is capable of hitting 250 kilometers per hour.
The X6 M50d is, as the name suggests, a car developed with the help of BMW's M division. But even so, beside a fantastic tri-turbo engine, this car isn't that different from a normal M Sport X6. It has sportier front and rear bumpers, these awesome leather sport seats, and this much hyped M steering wheel. The only difference here is that the X6 M50d comes as standard with the adaptive M suspension.
This car is very fast, but because of its large size and huge weight, you just feel it's not quick enough. For example, if you try to do a launch control from standstill, you just don't feel the car pushing you in your seat. But if you just glance at the speedo, you'll be amazed at the huge speed you're doing. On this very wonderful piece of tarmac, I've tried using the transmission in manual mode, but everything happens so fast in this car that I just can't react as fast as the computers do. So the best way to drive this car fast is to put the transmission and the car in sport mode and just floor it. I have to say, for such a huge vehicle, it's got quite a low sitting position. The steering is very direct and precise, and this wonderful 8-speed automatic gearbox just doesn't get the praise it deserves. It's absolutely brilliant. And when you hit a second gear corner, just slow down enough to get the correct line into the corner, and then midway just floor it, and the computers do everything and you just fly out of the corner. It's absolutely mind-boggling. There's no hint of understeer. You can't even talk about body roll because it doesn't even exist, and because of the very direct nature of the steering, it's very easy to drive this car fast.
Unlike the GLE Coupe, which has basically identical exterior dimensions, the X6 doesn't feel as big as it is when you're driving. It just sort of feels like a normal car.
The whole interior is very driver-focused, and for lack of a better word, it just feels like it's hugging you. It probably is down to the lower seating position, but my first impression when I got into this car is that it feels much smaller than it actually is.
And while we're on the subject, let me just point out one of the highlights of this car. One of the most beautifully designed SUV interiors I have ever seen. Combining this fabulous M steering wheel with these digital dials and the complex shapes of the dashboard really adds a lot to the sportier side of this coupe SUV. I personally think it's brilliant. And as you may have figured it out by now, fit and finish is also top-notch.
On the highway, at high speeds, is where this car feels at home. It stays planted on the road, and if you put it in comfort, you almost feel like it's floating on air. And you can criticize it all you want, but as a tool for long motorway journeys, it's really hard to beat. But considering how much it costs, just give me a 5 Series Touring and I'll be happy.